Party Peepal Network. And first of all, we want to thank you guys. You could have been anywhere in the world, but we're so glad that you made it here for this special episode, special broadcast. And like I said, we're going live, guys. But this is part of our Southern Soul show. And we have a very, very special guest on with us today on the Party Peepal Network. And like I said, hey, this is where we're introducing everyone to the groove. And Southern Soul is definitely a groove. And this gentleman is, man, I tell you, he is a legend, Southern Soul artist. He is a personification of, when you say Southern Soul, this gentleman right here is, man, you should see his picture right under when you say Southern Soul, you should see his picture right there. It should pop up immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the Southern Soul artist, Cadillac Man. Cadillac Man, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, brother. How are you?
Oh, man, hey, I can't complain. As they say, it won't do no good anyway.
Right.
Well, listen, sir, again, Cadillac Man, it is an honor and a privilege to have you on here as we are, man, just want to definitely, man, tell the people, and first I want to start off, again, saying that this is a legendary Southern Soul artist, and he has his own podcast, and Cadillac, but before we get into it, man, I just want you to give the people kind of a quick rundown of, man, how did you get started? And what inspired you, man, to become the artist that you are today?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It was a gentleman by the name of Will Easley. And I started, that's how I got the name Cadillac Man. I'm the president and the founder of the first Cadillac Club, which I established in 2010 in Tuskegee, Alabama, your hometown as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And what happened, I paid this man $700 to entertain on one of my Cadillac balls. We have an annual ball. And I realized that I could sing. I said, well, shoot. For that kind of money, I said, well, all I got to do is get me a flash drive and record me some music, and the rest was history. And I just dived in head first and never looked back.
Awesome. Yeah. So, man, it just started and just sprouted from there, man. And the rest is history.
Right.
Awesome, man. And I tell you, and so, man, where you are now, to see that trajectory in your journey, you have a podcast, and just, man, based on that, man, tell us about just the experiences and where it's taking you, man. I know you've been, I know it's taking you all over the world, man, and I know you're internationally known. Tell us some of your most greatest moments in this journey that you've been on as a Southern Soul.
Well, my greatest moment is when I, being a professional Southern Soul artist, I've been a professional artist. Somebody said, well, what's your definition of professional? Anytime you get paid to do something, my book, that's a profession.
Right.
At least somebody thought enough to book me, so that made me a professional. But my greatest highlight was that by being an artist, I know firsthand the struggle. You ever heard those saying, struggling artists? I know just what that means.
Right.
A lot of up-and-coming artists don't understand the struggle. They don't understand the dynamic and the science behind marketing and promotional. So I created this podcast so that artists, I could put a face to the music. Now, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s where when they played music, they would say, Good Love, the remix by Cadillac Man. Most radio personalities now, they'll just play your music and never give a shout out to who the artist is. So with a podcast, people not only hear the artist's music, they'll get a chance to see the artist's face, and I'll get a chance to share some very intimate things about the artist so that people can get to know some very imperative information about that artist.
Okay.
And I've graced the stage with every major artist in Southern Soul, including some real legends like Lattimore, Bobby Rush, Candy Staten, Millie Jackson, Lakeside, The Whispers, Lenny Williams, 8-Ball MJG, Drew Hill, and the list goes on.
Wow. Man, I tell you, you definitely, like you said, you graced the stage with legends, and like you said, you've been on that journey and understanding that, and that's one thing that we stress, is understanding in music business. You know, they say business is a longer word than music and the show business.
Well, allow me to expound on that.
Right.
It's a reason they call it show business, compound word. It's 90% show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 90% business and 10% show.
Right.
And a lot of up and coming artists don't understand the business side of it. So that's why I had this podcast, because my podcast is informative, educational, and entertaining. A lot of artists don't know that how to properly register their music. They just think that if they release it on CD, baby, that's it. No. If you want to get your music, if you get enough streams and and uploads and radio airplay in order to get your music on the Billboard chart, it has to be registered with Illuminati SoundScan. A lot of artists don't know that about that. They think the Illuminati is just this a cult, this big organization that do a lot of evil things, but that's the name for SoundScan, Illuminati SoundScan. I have a website where artists can go on my music market, they can click on it, and they can register their music. All they need is the International Standard Recording Code or the UPC code, and we register music. So if by chance they ever get enough Spotify streams, their music can get posted. It can get noted by the Billboard chart, and a lot of artists don't know that. So they're leaving a lot of money on the table, not knowing how to properly register their music.
Right. And that's very important in understanding that, because like you said, I mean, from one song, I mean, you can have almost a dozen or more different streams coming from, as far as income streams. You can have about 13 streams of different forms of income coming from that stream, but you have to understand the importance of, like you said, copyrights, knowing how to copyright, understanding how to.
But the copyright thing, not to make light of it, but an artist can get around it today, because technically, if you go to a real professional producer, when he records your music, they can tag it, and they got ways of tagging things in the system, in their system, where as long as you got any tangible proof on the date and the time and the place you actually recorded it, it's actually copyrighted at that moment.
Right. Yeah. If it's tangible and it's recorded, yes, tangibly. Yeah. And you know, I only stress that because when, say, if someone wants to resample it, or say somebody wants to, say, even re-record it, you know, that gives you exclusive rights, like, over the master. So, you know, you can do that. And not only, but like you said, you're exactly right. You know, as long as you showing proof that you have those key things, like the date, the timestamp with the metadata, you know, all of that.
So if you go to court, and if somebody want to contest against you, okay, put up a shut up. Show me a tangible proof of the date you recorded versus tangible proof. And if they can't do it, they lose. Because, like I said, if you recorded it with a real producer, that producer can go in his file and give you the date and the time he recorded that song.
Timestamp. Yeah.
So whoever can prove that they recorded it first, that's the person actually on that song.
Yeah, definitely. And that is very important for all our inspiring artists out there that's listening, that wants to learn about this. And like I said, man, hey, we dropping some jewels, and that's very important, because in this thing, a lot of that gets lost in translation because of social media. You know, everything is microwavable, and that gets lost. You know, people want to go from 0 to 10 real quick in this thing, but you know, when you're going from 0 to 10, you're missing the first step. And Cadillac, that is awesome, man. That you know, you are definitely breaking that down and also helping other aspiring artists to come on, give them exposure. And that's what it's really all about, and that's part of the community. And I know we talked offline, and you was talking about, legacy, building a legacy
Right.
in that. And so, Cadillac,
Well,
with your
let
podcast.
me expound on the legacy part.
Yeah.
Every artist that professes to be an artist, because there's a lot of people who are not artists, and I'm gonna expound on that. Anybody can grab a mic and go on stage, and do this, But if you're a true artist, it has to be mind, body, and spirit. It has to be one of your many callings in life. You have to be walking in your purpose.
Yeah.
That way you would do this thing for the duration of your life. If you look back over history at your predecessor, James Brown was gracing the stage until the day they died. B.B. King. That means it's a walk that you'll walk for the remainder of your life.
Yes.
It's not like your typical blue collar job where you can work 30 and 40 years and you retire.
Right.
Most true artists stay on that journey until the day they die. Because that's their calling, that's their purpose in life. And a lot of artists, so that's why it behooves artists to work on your legacy to how you want to remember. And a lot of artists don't know that also that long as your music is on a digital platform, you'll be dead and gone 100 years from now, but your music will still be playing somewhere in the universe. So you need to do the paperwork and get your air clause signed so that when you die, your grandkids. That's why a lot of artists got this term called generational wealth. A lot of people don't know what that means.
Right.
That means when you dead and gone, your grandkids 50 and 60 years from now can still be getting your royalties from your airplane.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But you got to know, you got to get the right paperwork to do that. And a lot of artists don't know that when you do a live show with BMI, you can register your own music in your set to where BMI will pay you for performing your own music, original music at a concert.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that goes back to, like you said, understanding the business, because like you said,
which is 90% of this industry. Business, 90%, 10% show.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And that's how a lot of our predecessors got robbed back in the 50s, like Little Richard, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. A lot of them guys, Tina Turner, because not the bash on this end, but most of the record label was owned by a white counterpart. They knew the business side of things. So the artists brought the talent to the forefront. They ran the business. So at the end of the day, they was making all the money off those people's talents, and you had the rights to their masters, and most of them died broke. And while the owners of those record labels, kids right now and grandkids are still receiving generational wealth from the work that them guys put in so hard labor back in the 40s and 50s, because they didn't know the business side.
Right. They didn't. And it's funny, Cadillac, you said, man, you're from Tuskegee. Shout out to our hometown, Tuskegee, Alabama. For those of you guys, we both, born, raised, in Tuskegee. And, I mention that because for me, I can relate because, of course, many, man, we have a slew of famous people coming from that area. But, of course, we all know the Commodores, Lionel Richie, and a lot of the kids. We all went to school together. And about a few years ago, I remember talking to the keyboard player. Used to be, his name was Marlon Williams, legendary Marlon Williams. And I remember talking to his son. We all, like I said, went to school together. And he said, at that time, he said, you know what? He said, they got it right. He said, because they understood the business. They understood about publishing and different things like that. And he said, every 3 months, he receives a royalty check.
Right.
And he said this particular royalty check he received during that time, this was a couple of years ago, but he said this particular royalty check, I'm not trying to put him on Front Street, but he said this particular royalty check he received it was from the royalties from one of their famous songs. But he said it was a 5-figure royalty check. And said, he said, man, and he said, my pops passed a couple of years ago, but he said, I'm still receiving the benefits from that. And that goes to, like you said, man, making sure that you understand the business and registering and all those things that you mentioned, Cadillac, is.
Well, let me give you an example. Right now you can walk in any public mall, right?
Right.
Some hospital, some public institution, and you'll hear music coming at the intercom. Yeah. And it'll be some songs that was in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Now those artists don't live nowhere in Alabama, but their music is playing somewhere in the public all over the world daily. And I tell a lot of artists that's where BMI and ASCAP and CSAC comes in. It's a high-tech way of monitoring the artist's airplay. Right. So while you sleeping, your music is making money for you universally. Yes. And it's just amazing how they can track that and to be able to figure out how much airplay you got and how much spin you got in order to generate what royalties that they have to distribute. But all that takes place only if you got your UPC and your International Standard Recording Code and all that in place with those performing right organizations.
Right. Man, I tell you, again, for guys that you are tuning in and watching, we are having this is a great interview on Facebook Live. This is our first time, Party Peepal Network, with the Southern Soul artist known as Cadillac Man. And we are no doubt. Let it be known. And man, we are discussing just his journey as a Southern Soul artist, understanding the lay of the land in terms of the business, and also legacy, leaving a legacy. And Cadillac, moving on, man, there was something that we saw, and basically over the past couple of months, really been noticing that, like I said, there are levels to this what you're doing. And you did something that was really awe-inspiring. Let's talk about the Southern Soul prayer, and what inspired that. Because there's another side, there's multiple sides to this thing. I mean, they don't know that as an artist, it's a lot of sacrifice. You have to be, like you said, dedicated, knowing that it's your purpose, and moving on from that. But with the Southern Soul prayer, I want you to really elaborate on that and what inspired you for that.
Okay, the Southern Soul Traveling Grace prayer was a prayer that I was inspired because as I travel, like I said, in my 8 years, I've traveled pretty much throughout the southern region of the Chitlin Circuit. That's like shows in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Florida. And in my travels on major interstates and highways and byways and back road, county roads, I've noticed that on both sides of the road, I used to see crosses, roadside memorials where someone has lost his or her life. And I used to tell my girlfriend at the time, I said, wow, it gets real in the field. Because people are actually dying out here. There have been some roadside memorials where I see 5 crosses where 5 people died in that one car. And it touches me. And then what really made me decide to bring it to the forefront was when the late great Angie Stone, international recording artist, died in Montgomery, Alabama, coming from a show in Mobile, heading to Atlanta to board a flight to fly to Baltimore, Maryland. So she never made it to her fans. So that's why I got inspired to come up with the word and the prayer go like this: Father God, extend your traveling grace to every artist who travel up and down the dangerous Southern Soul highways to entertain their Southern Soul fans. Let every artist say amen. And artists, we need to start saying that prayer beforehand. time we get in our car and put our seatbelts on, let's start getting practice saying that prayer. Because once you get on the highway, once your vehicle start flipping, depending how severe the accident, you can be dead in a blink of an eye. You won't even have time to even get a prayer in. So we need to just get in the habit of saying that Southern Soul prayer. Yeah. Now, I'm watching, and not to throw in the shade, but I see a lot of kids on this new song, Boots on the Ground, where them fans that they're actually training 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds to say, "Where them fans at? Where them fans?" Okay, fans, that's fine. Everybody needs some fun and some recreation. Let's teach them same little kids where them prayers at. You know, we because they are young and they're impressionable, and that you can instill things in them. So it's okay to instill some fun, having a good time. Right. But don't forget to teach them little kids. If you can teach them how to line dance and pop them fans, take time out to teach them same little kids a prayer. Yes. Yes. So that's why I came up with the Southern Soul Traveling Grace, because right now I'm at home in my office, but some artists right now in Southern Soul is on that dangerous highway going to or from a show. So I hope that prayer catches on. Yeah. That when I'm long gone, part of my legacy, 100 years from now, somebody will still be saying the Southern Soul Traveling Grace prayer that I composed April the 1st of 2025. It's very imperative. It's very relevant. And somebody created the Lord's Prayer. I don't know when it was created, how long it's actually been around, but the Lord's Prayer, our Father, who art in heaven, been around for a long time, but that prayer didn't fall out the sky. Somebody composed that prayer. And it caught on. You know what, Cadillac, you are definitely, man, to be commended. And first of all, definitely, our condolences, of course, to the family of legendary singer Miss Angie Stone. May she rest in heavenly peace and power. And definitely, Cadillac, you ought to be definitely commended for, utilizing and taking that, man, and coming with something that wonderful as a prayer. My grandmother used to say all the time, life is fragile, handled with prayer. And right now, in this point in time, we need all the prayers that we can have right now. And amazing. And definitely, guys, for you out there that just heard that, definitely, especially for not only the artists, but for anyone that's traveling and on the road, especially with Southern Soul artists, man. Like you said, you got to get to and from. And, that's definitely a prayer that will help sustain you and cover you in that. And Cadillac, where can they actually get access to that prayer? Where can they find that? Right now, you can go to my page. I have several pages. One on the podcast, P-O-S-C-A-S-T, Sylvester Collins. And you can find it on those pages. You can copy and paste it, or you can share it. Okay. And I've been just digitally working day in and day out, at night, in the wee hours of the morning, just going to every artist, up-and-coming artist, major artist. I'm sending it to their inbox. I also got just a tangible copy, and I'm also sending a video. I've had a lady out in Arkansas who actually made me a video to where you can see the prayer and hear me state the prayer at the same time. Okay, awesome, man. So guys, hey, pick up that prayer, and definitely we'll probably have some links that you guys, if you want to access it, you'll be able to do that as well. Shout out to my co-host, which we had some technical difficulties, wasn't able to get on the air, but big shout out to my boy Tigger. Yeah, Tigger Bounce, man. He's watching, man. And we're gonna get Tigger home. Yeah, no doubt. Yes. And again, man, I want to tell you, man, I'm just having I'm having a great time. Man, we're talking with Southern Soul artist Cadillac Man. And first of all, I want to thank you again for coming on, man. You have definitely given us some jewels
and basically with just, man, your experiences,
And also,
and you are
I
fulfilling
like
your
to,
purpose, and this is
before
so
I forget,
beautiful.
I like to let all up and coming artists know I got two platforms, the podcast, and also I'm a promoter as well. I'm an artist, I'm a singer, songwriter, artist, and a promoter.
Right.
Every 3 months, I do local shows right here in my community for up and coming artists to showcase their talent as well. I go out in the community, and I've already went out in the community, and I've got a built-in audience. All they got to do is show up and show out. If they got a song you're pushing, I will highlight it on my podcast, and then I will give you a live platform to perform it in front of a live audience.
Awesome. Hey, look, Cadillac, I want you to say that again, because, man, that is extremely important. You're creating, you have a platform which will allow other aspiring artists to come on. And that's the purpose of Party Peepal Network as well. We want to, find a way we can expand that and provide opportunities and exposure for other up-and-coming artists. And that's something that we have taken advantage of, and will be taking more advantage of in the coming future, because, man, it is awesome. Again, reiterate what you just said.
Okay, as a professional artist who's been in the game for 8 years, I understand the struggles. So what I did, I came up with this great idea. There are so many up and coming artists in this double quote unquote Southern Soul genre of music. As a matter of fact, I interview artists every Monday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time on my podcast, Southern Soul Podcast.
Right.
Right now, I'm booked for interviews all the way up to March of 2026 with just up and coming artists. So I come on with this platform, allow artists to come on and share their journey. We get a chance to put a face, we highlight their music, whatever they submit me, and then I give them an opportunity. It's optional for them to come to my town and do and showcase their talent.
Right.
I put on a show every 3 months right here in Opelika, Alabama. I go get a venue, I get a DJ, I get out in the street, I campaign, I promote it, and for artists, it's only artists who I've interviewed on my podcast. An opportunity to come in that now they can perform that song right in front of a live audience.
Awesome.
And it's a low budget show, but it still allow artists to come in and perform and showcase their talent.
Awesome.
No artist coming without nothing. They're gonna get something in there, but some food to eat. Definitely gonna get some gas, and I'm definitely gonna put you in a room.
Right.
And provide a venue for you to perform your show. It's all about helping you build your fan base.
That is awesome. That's awesome. And that's what it's about. It's about getting that exposure, because, right, I mean, that's how you light the spark. That's how you ignite it. Right. And you providing that is paramount. And hey, it definitely can kick it off. And kick it off the proper way, and understanding, okay, well, hey, this is, like you said, business. And I even
also networked up with other promoters. I had an opportunity for you one time. Some things came up. I guess you didn't follow through on in Georgia.
Yeah.
Well,
look,
with my boy Rico County. So yes, on that note, I also network with other promoters.
Yes.
And let them know what I'm doing. A lot of them, they appreciate what I'm doing, so they'll reach out to me and say, you got an up and coming artist, you can, send my way. I just sent a young lady named Janelle Moore to a promoter in Macon, Georgia, and another guy out of Phoenix City, Bama Boy Tuesday. So yeah, any way I can help an up and coming artist, man, and get my heart joy.
Awesome. Well, look, I'm gonna say this right here. And then, like you said, this is just the beginning. Like I said, on Party Peepal Network, this is going to be part of our Southern Soul as we pay homage, and definitely, like I said, premiering, like I said, you listen to the Southern Soul artist, Mr. Cadillac Man. He has a podcast that comes on Facebook Live. You guys catch that. But I want to say this officially. Marq Dean, we have a new single that'll be out. And the title of it is called To the Floor. And we will be definitely, I wanna put this out there. Cadillac, we got a collaboration It's coming.
Okay.
Real soon.
Okay. I'm open.
Collaboration on way.
I'm open to put some season to the food.
Yes, sir. All right. All right. Hey, man. Hey, like a good bowl of gumbo. It's gonna be.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And also let the people know I also have a music marketing and promotional web service too. But I got a website you can view it where I send artists music to various FM radio stations throughout the Chitlin circuit,
Right.
along to some of your major Southern Soul DJs. Several artists, matter of fact, you didn't take use my service, but several other artists have used my service too. And also for artists who like to get their music reviewed, or if artists want to get their music sent to the Illuminati sound scan, you can go on my website and you can click on, and it have all application you can fill out all the fields and submit it too. So you just go on the website. That's free of charge to submit your own from my website to meter base and sound scan.
Awesome, awesome. Well, look, man, I know. Again, first I want to say again, thank you, Cadillac Man, for taking out time out of your busy schedule and to come on. And this is, like I said, the first for us, Facebook Live, Party Peepal Network. And before, man, we get you out of here, I want you to, again, give us your contact information as far as social media. How can they get in contact with you, man, to find out more information, your website, all of that information?
Okay. You can contact me at 334 306 0176. Let me get
okay. Right.
Clear my throat.
All right.
Let me clear my throat.
Oh, yeah.
33. I'm gonna get my mic. 334 306 0176. Or you can reach me, or you can contact me on my website. I have a website, CadillacMan.org. It got links where it take you to my bio. It can take you to my podcast. It can take you to my Instagram pics. It can take you to my music marketing website. Anything you want to know and all things you want to know, you can just put in my website link, CadillacMan.org.
Okay, you heard it here, guys. CadillacMan.org is where you can reach out, get all the pertinent information, and definitely, man, I hope you guys have been, keep your ears to it because, man, again, there's been some major jewels that's been dropped. As we wrap this thing up, I want to say thank you again, Cadillac Man.
Thank you, Robert.
Very special guest, Cadillac Man. And we'll be having links. We will be not only with this live, but you'll be seeing our show, which is going to be highlighting our new music as well as this. We're going to take definitely great portions of this. And we're going to be just promoting and building from here. Party Peepal Network is on. It comes on live on our YouTube channel. But we're going to be expanding this purpose. And this is one of the first things. And again, thank you, Cadillac, man, for gracing us, man, for this interview today. And we definitely appreciate it, man. You want to reach out to me, you can find me on Marq Dean Music on Facebook. But we also have our Party People. Reach out to my co-host, which he wasn't here, but he's with us, he's watching. Mr. Tinker Bounce, producer extraordinaire. You can reach out to us at partypeoplent@gmail.com. That's partypeoplent@gmail.com. Also our TikTok and all of our social media handles at Party Peepal. That's Party PARTYPEEPALENT. So you can reach out to us there. Again, I'm Marq Dean, and I appreciate you. Cadillac, any last words before you get out of here?
Yes, man. All I want is to tell any up-and-coming artists, never give up before the miracle happens. As a matter of fact, a personal friend of mine, the guy who made the original music with Boots on the Ground, a young man out of Aiken, South Carolina, a personal friend of mine named Terrence Thompson, a.k.a. T the Wizard. Yeah. I called him last week to personally congratulate him for producing the hottest track, not the hottest song, but the hottest track. He produced the original music. Yeah. He said, Cadillac, he said a week before that, he had told his wife he was going to give up being a producer because he had got so discouraged. Right. And that's when 803 reached out to him, and he created that trail ride track, submitted it back to him. Now it's a #1 song in the country. So on that note, artists, don't give up before the miracle happens. That's all I got to tell you.
Right. Stay the course. Stay the course. Cadillac, man, beautiful, beautiful guys. Hey, stay the course again, and man, hey, don't give up, because the worst thing you can do is stop. Yes, sir. All right.
If you give up, then now you got a life regret. Now you talk about your legacy. Now you got to live maybe one day on your deathbed, 40, 50 years down the road, and say, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. What if I had stayed in it? Where would I have been? What this? What that? You'll never know if you give up.
Mm-hmm. You never know. Never know. So hey, keep moving. Stay moving forward. And
remember, nothing happened overnight. It happened over time.
Right. Right. Key thing, time. I always say my mantra, and we're gonna end it here, man. Be like time. Time doesn't stop. It doesn't even look sideways. It just keeps moving forward. So you got to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. And hey, I appreciate you, man. Hey, I love you guys, and there's nothing y'all can do anything about it. And again, shout out, man, my man Cadillac Man. Peace and love. We love y'all. And this is Party Peepal Network. Cadillac Man. Hey, blow that horn again for us, man. All right. Yeah. Peace and love, man. And we out. See y'all later.
All right. Thank you, brother. God bless you.
God bless.